And just like that, the boys are back. Happy Monday, everybody. It's Matt Hughes from Section 400. Jack and Brian along for the ride in this one. We hope everybody had a phenomenal weekend. We have some stuff to get into on this show. Four Nations final. Unfortunately, the U.S. lost. We'll get into that in a little bit. Little NHL preview. We'll give out some futures. We're right around the corner from some NHL playoffs, so we'll definitely give you guys some quick futures. I don't know if we're the guys to listen to on those futures, especially that sport, but we'll throw them out there for you anyway.
Jack won last year.
But Jack gave out the late future. I get it. We'll give it to you, but there was a whole scandal within that.
They don't want to see me win.
It's fine, dude. Give it out late. If it's a winner, it's a winner. But Jaguars also got a new GM, so we need to talk about that as well. I don't know if Jack's happy. He seems pretty happy right now. So we'll see who it is. I actually don't even know who it is, so Jack can educate me a little bit on the Jaguars' new front office. And then Mike of the Week. Michael of the Week is here to stay, the Sunday edition. So we'll get into some Michael of the Week. I believe Brian has 3 for us today, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. It all wraps up with the AL Central preview. Our guy Nick over on Views from Section400.com is doing 6 divisions in 3 weeks. Check out last week's show if you want to see the American League East. This show will be the AL Central. But it all starts right now after a word from SeatGeek.
The calendar is flipped to 2025, and that means one thing. The sports action is heating up, and the best place to go to get tickets to playoff football, meaningful basketball games, and maybe some baseball soon is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the official sponsor of the Views from Section 400 podcast. Whether you're going to watch some Auburn Tigers play at Neville Arena, best team in college basketball, if you want to see the Birds probably choke in the playoffs at the Link, or maybe you want to buy some early spring training tickets for the spring, SeatGeek is the best place to go. Their one-of-a-kind platform makes finding the best deals easy. Use our code VIEWSFROM400 at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's code VIEWSFROM400 at checkout. You get $20 off your first purchase. That's a free beer and maybe some crab fries, maybe a hot dog on us. It's a great deal. Use our code. SeatGeek, your best night ever is waiting.
As I mentioned in the open, the Four Nations final concluded on Thursday night as the U.S. took on Canada up in Boston. We talked a lot of shit. We let them hear it after we beat them on Saturday night, a week and a half ago. And now they came in and won the championship. As far as I'm concerned, the series is tied 1-1, and we need to have a third game.
I like that. I like that spin zone here because Canada has now won 10 of the last 14 best on best against the good old red, white, and blue. And the one that really hurt about this game, I'm not a big hockey guy, but I do watch the big games. And in 2010, I remember that Olympic match when Sidney Crosby in overtime took the hearts out of the Americans with an overtime goal. And of course, it had to be their McJesus, whatever they call him over there in Canada, their savior of hockey, again, with an upper shelf shot to win the game 3-2 in overtime. And I got hyped for this game. I mean, I didn't expect to really care that much because I'm not really a hockey fan, but I wanted us to win. And the miracle during the ESPN breaks that they had going on, and they just,
Brian, you might not be a big hockey fan, but you are a patriot, and you do love a good underdog. So I understand why you were heavily invested in this game. I mean, I was too, man. You see the way that some of our guys were fighting out there. Brady Tkachuk, every single play, he was crashing somebody into a board. I mean, the guys who play with that kind of heart, you love getting behind them. And this was a tough loss. It was a great game, competitive game all the way through. I mean, so many memorable things from this game, from that first shot that Canada made when that back angle, seeing his view, there's no shot there. There were 4 people in the way and they all happened to clear out perfectly for this goal to happen. That's the kind of shit that happens in hockey. So it's okay. You got to wear it. But I got to give Matt some credit here for calling the boos. He was like, there is no way that TD Garden doesn't boo the hell out of the Canada national anthem or whatever. And by God, they did. And ESPN, they did the most trying to make that not happen and put like crowd noise over it or whatever they did, raise the anthem volume. But yeah, that was awesome to see all those fans getting into it.
I saw your tweet about it too. I was like, I thought I heard booing, but I couldn't really tell. The sound mix sounded a little off. And then I went right on Twitter to see if people were talking about it, and you said like shout out ESPN putting down the boos there. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean it was inevitable, right? I mean we knew that was going to happen. The U.S. is petty. We're petty. It's just what it is, and that's fine. Look, is it disrespectful? Sure, they did it. We did it. I'm not going to get too amped up about it, but what an entertaining game, man. I mean, this was a sellout to the max. I think the cheapest ticket was like $900 just to get into the stadium. So everybody took it serious. Everybody was hyped up for the game, and what a final they got. I mean, Canada scored, U.S. went up 2-1, Canada tied at 2-2, and then again, like you kind of said, Jack, how do you leave the best player in the world wide open in the slot to bury the overtime goal? So the U.S. had their chances in that overtime as well. They were peppering the
Dude,
Canadian goalie,
Jordan
peppering him.
Binnington, like every, I guess puck knower they call themselves, I talked to before this game was like, Binnington will let up the easy ones and then he'll lock in at the end. And I was like, whatever. He locked in. Some of those saves in overtime, it was giving me chest pains. I was like, how are these not going in? Austin Matthews, so many chances, and he played his heart out.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a fraud, Austin Matthews, I think, needs to be on the fraud watch after that one. I mean, he was non-existent in that final, and, he's the guy, he's our McDavid, right? Especially in that team, in that role. He's the guy you're expecting to put, the game on his stick, take over, and score the winning goal, especially in overtime. He didn't do it, and McDavid did. So there's no more shit talking, and that's why he's on the Maple Leafs, the biggest fraud organization in the NHL.
I don't know if I can blame him. I mean the one
He
timer he
was
had right in front of the
non-existent,
net, that was a
bro.
great save. Like he put it right on. That was an upper shelf shot, and Binnington just reacted well. So
I
I don't know,
guess
but
Matthews has a reputation of being a little bit fraudulent and non-existent, and especially when it comes playoff time. So that's just didn't help his case by losing that game in overtime to our now rivals.
they'll
I mean, I
always
guess they've
be.
always been, but not fierce rivals. But whatever, it is what it is. They lost. It was a fun, spin on the All-Star break, and hopefully more teams or more leagues follow in the footsteps. And I think really I'm talking to the NBA when I say that.
Yeah, well, you had Matthew Tkachuk put his body on the line, and he might possibly miss the rest of the year. Then you have LeBron James at the last second deciding to sit out of the All-Star game. It's just,
And then dropping 40 like the first game back.
yep.
It's a joke. It's ridiculous. But I think we should jump into some NHL preview talk. We don't have to dive down and dissect the whole league here, but do you guys just want to go around the horn and maybe give out a couple fun futures for some people to tail here? I don't know what you guys have cooking up there, Brian. Did you have one in mind?
Yeah, this is the part where you call me a fraud fan because I'm going to tell you the Washington Capitals are going to win the Stanley Cup.
I mean, they've been pretty electric this year. I think they're definitely on top of the Metropolitan Division, and they're going to have a high seed in the playoffs, bearing some major collapse. But Ovechkin is playing like a 28-year-old again. I mean, he doesn't look like he aged at all. Maybe I don't know where the MVP race is. I don't think he's in the running for that, but they got a shot to make a run in the playoffs. I don't think they'll win it all, but sure. I mean, for what it's worth, you know, they have a pretty sizable lead, a 14-point lead on over the Carolina Hurricanes in the Metropolitan Division. So, I
And
guess good pick. I don't know.
I know people always say the Stanley Cup playoffs are all about goaltending, and they got a guy, Logan Thompson, that's 25-2 this season. He has some losses in overtime, but 25-2 in regulation. I mean, that's seems like a Stanley Cup winning goalie to me.
Yeah, and you know, pretty wide open this year, right? I mean, the Panthers are good and the Oilers are good again. Could definitely see one of the two making it, and maybe we get a Stanley Cup rematch like we saw in the beginning of last summer. But Um, I'm not going to pick a Canadian team to win it all. I really would be surprised if the Panthers, ran it back and won it again. But to be a little bit different, I'll wait till the end. I'll let Jack shine with his future. I'll see where he goes before I throw a team out.
Well, I would love to give you the Panthers again, have them go back to back. I mean, they are my team here. They did prove me right last year, but with Matthew Chuck getting hurt, man, I don't know. I mean, was Brian was saying he might be out for the entire season. That's a big loss. Simple as that. It's a huge loss.
Yeah, he is a hockey player though, so I think they always report the worst and then they come back. Where baseball and
Yeah,
basketball,
this is not the NBA here. He could be back in 3 weeks.
yeah, you'll
All
hear
right.
6 weeks in the NBA and it'll be 3 months.
Well, hopefully my man gets back and the Panthers go back to back this year.
Yeah, and I was honestly leading that way as well, Jax. But I know that was your team, so I didn't. That's why I gave the floor to you. I didn't want
I
to take it from
appreciate
you.
that. I
No
appreciate
worries.
that.
No worries. And I think the Oilers can win it all as well, but I'm not picking them. I'm pretty conflicted here, man, because I do genuinely think the Panthers can go back to back. And as hard as it is to do in hockey, like they're the team that can do it. The Oilers might get there, but just to be different, just to be fun, I will give you, and I don't know how long is I don't even know. It's Kapril Krizalov on the Minnesota Wild. Is he out for the year? If he's not out for the year, I'll give you the Minnesota Wild. If he's out for the year, then I don't think they're going to do it. I think the Winnipeg Jets will fraud out, even though they have the best goaltender in Hellebuck, who we saw play for the United States. But screw it. I'll give you the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's see what they can do.
I like it. Shout out Vegas.
I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate you guys not picking a team from the Pacific Northwest.
I was kind of hoping Matt would. I'm not gonna lie.
There's not a team good enough, and I'm not picking. The Oilers are the only team that's close, and we've like already disqualified them after we had the argument of what qualifies and what doesn't. Winnipeg is in Alberta. I mean, they got a shot. Maybe is that Pacific Northwest? Brian's not going to qualify as it is. And it's a Canadian team. We're not picking Canadian teams here, so there was just no angle to take a team that could have you rattled.
All right, that's fair. I also forgot to mention this in our Four Nations recap. What's kind of crazy, the two American goals were scored by Ottawa Senators.
They
Both of
were.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, both of them. And it was interesting because they both have no NHL playoff experience. So it was two guys playing in the biggest games of their life to that point. And they obviously showed up. But, where are the Senators? I don't think they're, yeah, I mean, 29 and 24. Are they in a playoff spot? I don't know. I mean, the NHL is so competitive. The bottom team of the Atlantic Division is the Sabres, and they're 23 and 27. Like the bottom teams of some MLB teams, we see even not using the White Sox, but even another team. It's there are a lot of games under 500. I mean, there's teams at the bottom, other than the Western Conference. The Sharks are really bad and the Blackhawks are really bad. But other than that, all the teams are within a 10 game span of either being 500 or I think the biggest is like 9 games under, which isn't that bad. Pretty
good,
competitive league.
good for
That
Buffalo because they were on what, a 26-game losing streak 2 years ago.
I don't know. They've been bottom
Yeah,
feeder
they were
status for a
terrible.
little. Yeah, they've been bottom feeder status for a little bit, but it's just always good to see like the NHL really is like probably the most competitive league that we have in terms of all the
Yeah,
teams being like being decent, right? Like there's two teams that are way out of it, and like realistically, like other than that, the worst team is like the Penguins or the Sabres, and they're 23 and 27, 4 games under 500.
yeah, take that,
Good for
Crosby.
hockey.
And those are the last teams in their respective divisions. And the Kraken are 25 and 29, and the Predators are 20 and 28. But then the Blackhawks and Sharks. I mean, the Blackhawks are 15 games under. It's not great, but you
Uh,
get my point here.
Yeah,
But yeah, do you guys have anything else in the NHL? I'll give you the Golden Knights. I'm not even confident in that pick, to be completely honest with you. But they've done it. They did it a year after they were created as a new team, and I could see them maybe doing it again this year. They're having a nice year. Jack
Be,
Eichel's a beast.
be fun to get a Golden Knights Capitals rematch.
Yeah, it would be. I'd be rooting for the Golden Knights. Would you claim that title, Brian? Like, would you like
No, I
that?
wouldn't.
Would be like
I wouldn't
like
be able
that
to.
would
No,
that wouldn't be like
I
the
wouldn't claim that
Giants
on
winning the
the.
Super Bowl
No,
or the Mets winning the World Series. I think that'd be pretty fraudulent of
no, I would
you.
not claim that on our Section 400 leaderboard.
Would you claim the Rangers or Islanders?
No,
I don't think you can.
I can't claim any NHL or NBA team.
There's no NHL or NBA team that you can claim.
No, the three. Well, there's more than three teams,
What
but I
about the
can.
Knicks?
No,
No,
Yeah,
because you're not a fan of the Knicks.
no.
I love the Knicks.
Jack, you would claim a Knicks title?
He has been high on the Knicks since we started this podcast.
I mean, I don't like.
But you don't
I've
like them
also,
like you like
Maybe
the
we should
Jags.
establish this now.
we should
We
establish.
should
Because
establish this.
I've
That's
also been
what I'm
in on the
saying, man.
Panthers,
Because
but like,
out of the woodworks, dude. Brian's like, here come the Capitals.
I mean,
Let's
I can.
go Cap.
Okay.
I'm just getting out in front of it.
I
I'm
can
just
root for
getting
the
out
Caps,
in
but I
front.
wouldn't claim them. All right, I'll give mine first, and then we'll go around the horn.
All right.
So I can claim the Mets, the Giants, Auburn football, Auburn basketball, and I think even like baseball would be a stretch. So those four.
Auburn baseball, dude. Like, how down bad are you? That that's what
Well,
I was even think of. I was talking pro sports here, dude.
I thought about it because Auburn golf won last year, and I was like, do I want to claim that? I was like, no, I can't.
Nah, that's like weird.
But like, I still root for them, but I can't
I feel
claim
like
it on the leaderboard.
like college is like different. Am
No,
I wrong?
no. If Villanova wins a NCAA tournament, you can claim that on the leaderboard.
That's true. All right. Only basketball and football.
yeah,
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
No, like tennis. No.
Oh, wait, but
Auburn
no.
golf.
Okay, wait. But if Villanova wins an FCS championship, does that count?
no.
No, I wouldn't
Okay.
even. I wouldn't even claim that.
Okay, so all right, we'll establish that Auburn football and basketball, and Villanova basketball as the colleges.
I was just gonna go Philly 4 for 4 and Villanova basketball. Like we don't have to complicate this.
Yeah, that's fine.
So like Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, Sixers, Nova basketball,
Yeah.
and Philadelphia
And
Union.
no,
Nah, I mean I'm like
you
a
don't get
fan,
the
but
you no.
dude. I watch the games. The season starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know you
I
watch
won't
the
cla-
games, but
I won't
that
claim
doesn't
that
count.
though. Nah, I won't claim. Nah, I agree. I agree.
All right, Jack, what you get Jaguars, Auburn basketball, football, and are we going to give you the Knicks?
Like, if you want me to be hardo about it, that's all I'll take. But I've
I
also
mean, I'm being pretty hard. O'Brien snapped the fucking hammer down on the Union on me.
I mean, the
Yeah,
issue
I
is
mean-
Matt, you have 5, I have 4, and now Jack's stuck with 3.
yeah, I got Auburn sports, I got the Jags, and the Red Sox.
Yeah, glad we got that sorted out. Just one more time to go through it. Brian, say your teams. Then
Mets,
Jack,
Giants,
and then I'll.
Mets, Giants, Auburn sports, Auburn basketball, or Mets,
What?
Giants, Mets, Giants, Auburn football, Auburn basketball.
Fair. And the only consistent one out of the group: Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, Sixers, Villanova basketball. We keep it in one city.
If I really
So
wanted
you
to be a
guys look-
hardo, I could talk about the Flyers, but I think now you're actually a bigger Flyers fan than you are a Sixers fan, so never mind.
I'm definitely a bigger dude. What are we talking about here? I know me having the blanket doesn't mean I'm a huge fan, but like, dude, I watch all the games. Like
We could
shut
stick
it.
with the 5, 4, and 4. I think we got it.
And I won't claim Arsenal. It's just because you guys aren't soccer guys, and it's completely different European sport, like or European
Oh.
team, whatever.
We can all claim the U.S. national soccer team. That's just an
That's just
extra
like-
tally on our board.
It cancels everything out.
Yeah, but it'll just look cooler in 70 years when we retire and we have the big leaderboard up. We have
Yeah.
an extra championship.
Well, what is that? What for the World Cup? Because they play the Gold Cup.
Yeah,
they
just
play,
the World Cup. We don't have to claim gold cups and nations finals.
Dude, like we need to be very specific on this show. So we're just outlining it so there's no discrepancies. All right, so World Cup, that'd be sick if we get one next year, meaning if they win it. But yeah, we have all the teams that we can claim. I'm glad we finally had a little rabbit hole there, but I'm
With the
glad
NHL preview.
with the NHL preview presented by Views from Section 400. All right,
Are we getting
I have
into
no
it now?
idea. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
think we're already into it.
we can jump back into it. Yeah, I was just grabbing some water, fixing the headset, but the Jaguars got a new GM. Jack, who is it? Give us his past job title, or what was he doing before he just accepted this job? Who the hell is the new Jaguars GM?
Is he
Yeah,
flipping
look,
burgers?
I'm so happy that I'm here to inform you guys about what's going down in Duval. All right, we have a new GM. His name is James Gladstone.
Why
Okay,
does that name sound kind of familiar?
It sounds like he's very good with money.
he looks like he's good with money. He's a young guy. He was
34 years old. Holy shit.
He's a young guy. Hey, we have a very young front office, which I can get into more in a second. But James Gladstone, man, he was just with McVay and the Rams for the past 8 years. He was like, at his last job title there was like a director of player scouting or whatever. You know, he was picking guys. He was in charge there, and that's honestly like what we need our GM to do is pick good players and make sure that we're, loading up this roster with some good picks. So I'm excited for him. He's a young guy. He seems like he has a knack for these things, and he worked under McVay, so I'm excited for him.
Is
And
he, is he younger than Liam Cohen?
I
Yes.
don't know how young Liam Cohen is, but I think
Bro,
he might
this
be.
guy's 34.
I think he is because
He's definitely.
Liam Cohen looks a little older. So does our defensive coordinator. Our offensive coordinator looks super young as well, Grant Udinsky. But
Yeah, Dinsky's like 28.
Cohen's 39. Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, see, I didn't look into their ages. That's not really like the main thing that concerns me.
Well, I do. I played the Udinsky kid in CYO growing up and travel basketball.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I don't know as much about him as I do everybody else, but I am super excited. The most for our defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanelli. Jersey guy, went to Rutgers, just spent the past few seasons with Green Bay in their defensive office. So we're getting a tough guy. I mean, Jersey, Rutgers, Green Bay, all of that preaches toughness, and he's going to be our new defensive coordinator. So even if we suck, at least we're going to be tough, and that's what I care about. So I'm excited for that.
What are the expectations going into this draft and obviously the upcoming year, right? Like a playoff team, then collapse in December, so they didn't make the playoffs, and now into like basically a whole new regime. I mean, obviously Brian and I have our thoughts and opinions on this, but like
Yeah.
what is the realistic like expectations for this team? I mean, like how many more chances does Trevor Lawrence get?
I mean, look, every season presents its own set of new challenges that you have to work through. Sometimes it's going to be on Trevor, sometimes it's not. But the expectations from Jaguars fans, I think I can speak for almost all the Jaguars fans right now. We better make the playoffs this year. I think that there is a very good shot we win the division. I mean, the Texans have won it the past 2 years. They looked pretty good in the playoffs up to a certain point when they had to play the Chiefs this year. So they're going to be legit. I'm assuming they've looked legit, but maybe we win the division, maybe we don't. It'll be a tight race with the Texans, and we will be a playoff team. That's the expectation.
So playoffs are bust.
Yes. With the roster we have, yes, playoffs are bust this year. Yes, absolutely.
Brian, you want to chime in on that?
Well, I love my stats. I want to say the Texans have never won the division 3 years in a row because I remember when we were doing this, when we were
Well, they're
doing
also like a newer franchise, so I would doubt that they've done that.
yeah, but they've gone back to back 3 times now. And I
Okay.
don't think they've ever won it. Because when we were doing the AFC South preview in August, I remember looking up the stat, and I'm kind of scared to look it up because my computer is helicoptering right now. But I like the prospect of Liam Cohen running a competent offense. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of Trevor Lawrence again, but I think at the bare minimum, Trevor Lawrence is talented enough to where if Liam Cohen's an absolute genius, the Jaguars will have a very good offense.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, man. I mean, if you guys remember back, I mean, it seems like a long time ago, but it's really just like a month ago at this point when Ben Johnson and the Lions lost, and he was the hot coach on the market. We didn't get him, but closely behind him, number two was Liam Cohen. Young, offensive-minded guy. That's what everybody was looking for. We didn't get Ben, we got Liam, and as soon as we got him, he's built this team. He got the OC, he got the DC, the GM. He's played a huge hand in all of that. So I have faith in this regime. I know we haven't seen a single snap yet, but it's just going to have to look. It's going to look so much better by default. I mean, no offense to Doug Peterson, seems like a really great guy, but from all the sentiments from the players, it seems like he was just living in the past. No new ideas. People knew what we were doing. This kind of stuff, and as a fan watching that stuff, yeah, I completely agree. So at the bare minimum, it's going to be different. It's going to be new. And I think that gets us, with the talent we have, a couple extra wins at the minimum. So I have a lot of expectations, pretty high expectations.
Yeah, Jack, so I have good news and I have bad news.
Oh, what's the good news and bad news, Brian?
The Texans have never three-peated. They have two-peated 3 times.
Okay.
The bad news is every time they've two-peated or repeated, I keep saying two-peated. Every time they've repeated as champions, a different team in the South has won, and it's been rotating. So the first time they did it, the Colts won. The second time they did it, the Jaguars won. The third time they did it, the Titans won. So it might be the Colts' turn this year.
I was just about to bring up, when are the Colts coming back? I mean, they're usually a decently well-run organization. Shane Steichen clock might be ticking on his job. I'm not quite sure, but I mean, they're probably going to try and go for it this year as well. Maybe not win it all, but be super competitive for the division.
Well, yeah, I mean they go as Anthony Richardson goes, right? I feel like they're handcuffed to him right now, and we saw what he was capable of last year. Not a playoff team, so if he can get better and promote them into a playoff sort of team, we could see that. But we haven't seen a whole lot of progression from AR-15 throughout his 2 seasons now.
We talked about it with the Red Rifle coming back to Carolina. Guns are back in America. AR-15.
Yep.
So because Andy Dalton got re-signed, you're back in on Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna have to come up with a gun nickname for Cam Ward. Hopefully Cam Ward. Might be Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. I didn't mean to go on like a huge Jaguars rabbit hole, but the only other I think was going to ask is like, I guess Travis Etienne is still there,
Mhm.
but like, is Tank Bigsby actually good, or do you guys just have the Auburn bias?
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Auburn bias.
No, look, Tank's a good running back. I mean, he's not.
He led the league in yards after contact and yards per carry for a while.
Yeah, the Jaguars' O-line needs some work. But I mean, look, both ETN and Tank Bigsby are good running backs. I don't think either of them are stellar. They're not winning Offensive Player of the Year's awards or anything like that. They're no Saquon or CMC, but they're better than the average running back. So I'm excited to see how Liam Cohen can use the both of them. We saw what he did with Rashad White and Bucky Irving in his rookie year last year. Bucky Irving looked like a superstar. We'll see if that was Liam Cohen's scheme or if that was him being, a dog in his rookie year. But I'm super excited to see how he's going to use our two running backs.
Ryan, Tyrone Tracy or Travis Etienne?
Tyrone Tracy.
Etienne.
Tyrone Tracy's just a younger Etienne.
Is he younger?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably younger.
There's not as much age disparity. I can't talk tonight in the NFL.
He's 20. He's 25. He's 25.
Tracy
is 20. Tracy. Etienne's probably like 28. No.
Gonna guess 27.
I tried typing in Travis and it put in Trevor. He's 26. He just turned 26.
Yeah, I guess Tracy had a wild college career. He was the receiver and transferred. He's Well, he is younger, but he's also much younger
So
in just
basically the
like
same
hits he's
age.
taken. He's got much younger legs.
Yeah. So that's why you'd rather have Tyron
And he had a
Tracy.
more productive season than Travis Etienne did last year.
Yeah, I
Nothing
think
went
he
right
absolutely did.
I mean, not that a lot of things went right for the Giants, but Tyron Tracy was
Nothing.
a good shining spot. Like we had our running game was not
I
existent.
was gonna say you can't say nothing went right for the Jaguars when you saw that absolute joke of a product they threw on the
Yeah.
field
I
for
mean,
the season.
we essentially had the same season last year, and Tyron Tracy was just better than Etienne.
But Brian, Tyrone Tracy and Travis Etienne were both born in 1999.
Yes, but Tracy has taken less NFL hits. He's been a running back for less time, so he has younger legs.
Okay,
They were
I'll give you
saying that
that.
was his rookie year as a
You're
running
right.
back.
Listen,
You're definitely right.
while I believe to an extent the whole Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence thing, most of it is to get under your skin. I firmly, like, unbiasedly believe Tyron Tracy at this point in time is a better running back than Travis Etienne.
I don't think
you
it's
like
that
that
black
answer.
and white. I really don't think it's that black and white. Like based off of what we saw last season.
If you were just
I
like
can
doing,
give you that.
if you were a new GM, if you were this, what was his name again? Your new GM?
James
Gladstone.
Yeah, Gladstone. If you were James Gladstone, just picking out of the whole pool of NFL players, and you needed a running back, I think he takes Tyrone Tracy before he takes Travis Etienne.
Do I have Tank Bigsby on my team already?
No,
I don't
you're
know
doing
that
a
he does
whole
that.
fantasy draft, a
Okay,
whole new
if I-
draft. You're drafting a team.
If I have like, okay, yeah, I might give you that based off of what we saw last year. I might give you that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
But let's see what happens this year because I think that could be a very different story come 2025.
I think it could definitely be a completely different story. But yeah, did it just because I could feel Brian was going to go with Tracy there, and I know Etienne. Not that he's the more proven guy, but like I think there's definitely way more expectation and hype around Etienne. On it's the guy who's supposed to be elite, and I don't think there's any Tyrone Tracy supposed to be elite expectations coming into the year and going future. Maybe you might think that now, but
the whole hype around Tyrone Tracy is just give me some kind of semblance of a good running back because they got rid of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, and
Devin
Singletary's still around.
He's still around as long as Brian Dable's around. Devin Singletary will be around.
Yeah, what did he follow him from the Bills?
Yep.
There we go. Fair enough. But that's all the NFL questions I had. I don't know if you guys had anything else, but we can move on to our Michael of the week if you guys are ready. Michael of the week. I'll just get it out of the way and send it over to Brian because he's got a 20-minute segment in itself for his apparently 3 Michaels of the week. Brian, what do you got?
I do have 3, and I think they're all interesting enough, worthy of bringing up on this podcast. So every Monday, I do an AP poll update for Auburn basketball, and I just decided to do some research because unless the committee royally, or I guess it's not a committee, unless the voters royally screw up and place Auburn at number 2 for some reason, this will be the 7th week in a row they're ranked number 1 in the AP poll. I was like, that's pretty long, not just for Auburn, but like for any program. So I looked it up. This will be the longest consecutive AP number 1 since 2022, which is impressive in itself, but that's not the Michael. The streak before that was held by Gonzaga. Gonzaga held the AP number 1 for 21 straight weeks. I remember them being good. 21 straight weeks is a full season and then a month into the next season.
It had to have been Gonzaga, bro. They don't play anybody. That's why.
They do in the preseason, though.
Now they do. I feel like they used to not.
It wasn't that long ago. It was like 3 years ago.
And what's your whole thing here? Is that Gonzaga was 21 weeks?
It's a long time to be AP number 1. So I'm just surprised the streak was that long.
Clarify this for me. That means they started out the season as the AP number 1 overall team and then didn't let it up until lost
until Selection Sunday when the last AP poll comes out. So they went the whole season. They went undefeated in 2021, and then they went a whole month of 21-22 as AP number 1.
It'd be more impressive if they won 4 straight titles, I think, for me.
Yeah, they lost the title to Baylor that year. And I knew that I remember that team being loaded.
They didn't win one title in that run.
No, it was actually their first trip to the Final Four under Mark Few. Which
Yeah, so okay, great, but when you do a deeper dive, kind of fraudulent.
yeah, this team was loaded too. It's incredible they didn't
Loaded.
win. They had Drew Timme, who I guess would be like the better Hunter Dickinson. That would be his best comp. And
They had the guard. Was it the dude on the Magic?
yeah, Jalen Suggs was there.
Suggs.
Yeah,
They had
yeah,
Corey Kispert as his backcourt mate. Andrew
yep.
Nemhard, who's on the Pacers now.
Yeah.
And then they had a guy playing 3 minutes a game, Julian Strawther, who's on the Nuggets now. And then they
Dude,
also had Omar Ballo coming off the bench, freshman Omar Ballo, who's averaging a double-double for Indiana.
they were a loaded team. Great AP poll for all these weeks, and their best showing was what, losing in the championship. Out of those 4 years, that was the furthest they got, was the championship loss.
Yeah, they had some pretty electric highlights, though. Jalen Suggs
They
hit that
did.
half-court shot against UCLA in the Final Four.
And like the COVID year, dude. It
Yep.
was like the weird no fans. So that's like slightly an outlier year, and they still didn't get it done.
Yeah.
And all right.
But my hopes for
Yeah.
Auburn of breaking that streak are pretty much over because they're not getting 21 in a row.
No. And they haven't been the number one team all year. Like consecutively.
Right.
Gonzaga?
No, Auburn.
Auburn. What are you saying?
Yeah, they have. This will be their 7th week. So they're a third of the way there.
Auburn?
Yeah.
No, but we didn't start the season as number one, is what he's saying.
Oh. No, yeah, but this will be their 7th consecutive
But
year.
either way, I thought it switched up a week ago when they lost to Alabama. They kept them at number one.
No, that
The
was the
coaches
coaches
pool.
poll.
The
I
coaches
know
poll.
there's two different ones. I just assumed you automatically get bounced if you lose during the week.
No, we didn't lose to Bama. It was Florida.
Or Florida, whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
But
if it was Bama, they
so
would.
they lost to Florida, kind of got blown out at home,
Yeah.
and they left them at AP number one.
They were consensus number one before that game. Excuse me. And then after the game, they were still number one with like 36 first place votes, and Florida got like 20.
Interesting.
I mean, it's hard to argue against the resume.
It definitely is. It definitely is. Yeah, I'm about to speed. I just thought, after that loss, they would have not been in that spot, even to number two. And if you're going based on like just watching real time, I would have put Florida at number one.
You would have jumped Florida number one after that?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
They seem like the best team right now, or one of the best three, and they beat the said best team on the road.
Yeah, they
beat them by like 15. Like I think they would have had a case.
There's definitely a case, and I've been not dealing with because I don't respond on Twitter anymore because I know it's a spiral. But Florida fans have been claiming that they should be number one since that game. And yeah, they have an argument, sure, but they've also lost 3 games in the SEC. And one of those was to Missouri at home. And they got blown out by Tennessee by like 25. Auburn's lost 1 game in the SEC, and their one other loss was in Cameron Indoor against Duke.
Yeah. Look, it's Auburn's resume is very impressive, but again, 2 losses to 2 teams that are probably going to be there at the end of the tournament, or one of them might be there, and it'll be interesting to see. But you got a long segment here, Brian. What's Mike of the Week number 2?
Yeah, this one's a little bit shorter. Sorry, Jack. So you guys know I've been high on St. John's all year. I'm never going to let it go that I did pick them to win the Big East in our preseason predictions, and they have now at least clinched a share of that title.
They'll get the regular season title, right?
Yeah, and that's what the predictions were for. We'll predict the tournament.
We weren't. Yeah, when it's
separately.
all said. Okay, that's what I thought.
But they are coached, of course, by Rick Pitino. And 2 teams have reached the Final Four since 2012, shooting under 33% from three-point range. St. John's this year is shooting 30%. The 2 teams before that have made the Final Four, 2012 Louisville under Rick Pitino, 31.8. 2013 Louisville under Rick Pitino, 33.
You're going on you're bought in on the Rick Pitino train. You're
I
all in.
I am
You are
completely
all in,
bought in
dude.
on St. John's making it to the Final Four. I hope they're not in the same region as Auburn.
You know they're gonna be.
Probably will be.
Auburn will be the one. St. John's will be the two.
Are they going to be a 2 seed?
They'll.
Eh,
It depends if they. Well, actually, the committee doesn't care about conference tournaments anymore. But
no,
they beat UConn today. They'll at
they have
least
a
be a
shot.
3.
Yeah, they'll at least be a three, but
Okay.
they could sneak their way up there depending on how things roll out. And that's a good way to plug in our bracketology over on viewsfromsection400.com. Brian and I dial it up every week. So if you really want to see the full breakdown, head over to our website.
New new bracketology tomorrow, and that'll be our third to last bracketology, I believe.
Yeah, we're getting down. I mean, Selection Sundays, yeah, 3 weeks away. Or are we a little further out?
4 weeks away. Yeah, I guess we'll do one right before the conference tournament start on that Tuesday. So we have 4 left.
Gotcha. All right. Good stuff. But yeah, Brian's all in on Rick Pitino. All right, Brian. Or sorry, St. John's, but Rick Pitino. St.
St. John's
John's
because
through.
of Rick Pitino.
Yes, exactly. What's your Mike of the Week number 3? You could have just did Mike of the Week yourself this week.
I could have. This one's the shortest. I've gotten them shorter as we've gone down the list. So obviously baseball season's back. We're about to talk about the AL Central preview. Check out Nick's AL Central preview that we'll be talking about on the website. But the Boston Red Sox play some version of a college team every spring training. It's their little kickoff tradition. They're 38-0 this century against those college teams. Haven't lost once.
Wait, what was that stat?
Is that
Boston,
surprising?
yes. In spring training, the Boston Red Sox have invited, if it's Northeastern, if it's Boston College, if it's Yale, one of these college teams to play them in spring training every year. And they haven't lost in this century. They're 38-0.
I think the Phillies lost yesterday, or didn't they lose to a college team
Like, it
2 days
happens.
ago?
It's a
Yeah, it
lot
happened.
of
Well,
double A
because
guys.
it's a lot of it's not like it's like the full MLB team
Yeah.
that they're going against.
And these prospects slash MLB players have never lost to a college team.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it. If I was a quote unquote pro player, I don't want to get showed up by a college guy.
Yeah, Bruce Pearl might have to take Auburn on a trip down there. Learn how not to lose to Boston college teams.
That'd be fun.
That's insane. But Jack, you want to give us a Mike of the Week here? That was crazy, dude. But limit like what if occasionally you want to do 2, that's fine. Or double loser, that's fine.
We have nothing going on, and I thought these were 3 fun little stats I could plug into.
It's good
No, they
stuff.
definitely
It's
were.
good
It
stuff.
was
It's good
good
stuff.
stuff. It was good pulls. Good pulls.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I'll get into mine, Michael. One of the bigger, just more questionable things that I've just been trying to wrap my head around in this National Football League is the Rams. Talking about dealing Stafford and Cup, and we're open to trades for them. I just haven't been able to figure out why. It hasn't really made any sense to me. You made the playoffs last year with this crew. I know Cooper Kupp might be getting old. Maybe that's the reason to trade him. But Stafford, why? He's worked great with McVay. Just made the playoffs, won a Super Bowl not too long ago. You guys know who? There's one other quarterback that's sort of on the market right now, looking for a new team, Hall of Fame kind of guy, Aaron Rodgers. He is the betting favorite to land with the Rams. Does that explain it to you? Do you guys understand this? I'm really just struggling to understand what the hell is going on in Los Angeles.
So they,
I mean, there's got to be something going on underneath the surface where they want Stafford out.
ayahuasca grows on trees, right?
Huh?
Sounds like you're on some right now, brother.
I'm just like they might all be gone in LA. I don't know why I'd want to go there.
I don't know. I saw Rogers doing a video.
Wow. Wow.
Why was that so significant? Because Brian made a wildfire joke.
Low, man. That was low.
I don't know how else to react to that. Why would Rogers fit in LA?
See, like that's just what I'm understanding.
As
What's
they're
the
trying to
difference?
get rid of Cooper Cup and unload guys, and what is the direction of the Rams?
But that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are you trying to deal? I can understand dealing Cup. The efficiency as a wide receiver has been going downhill. But like Stafford, dealing away Stafford just to get a Rodgers, that's a very lateral move. I don't see the. Is it for jersey sales? Like, what's the deal?
Maybe
I don't
McVay's
know.
gonna retire and they just want to start over. But Rodgers isn't exactly the kind of guy that could mentor a young quarterback.
Who's the second team on that betting list?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
That's who I think he'll go to.
That would make sense.
I don't see the Rams being in the picture. Rodgers to the Raiders. That's my pick.
The
Flow's
other
nice.
the other teams on the short list are the Steelers, the Colts, Titans, Vikings, and Niners.
Colts would be fun.
I could see them giving up on Richardson and getting Rodgers.
Yeah, yeah. And trying to be competitive again, like I said.
Tennessee, they should be taking a quarterback with the first overall pick this year. The
They might
Vikings,
not.
I don't know about that. And then the Niners, I don't know about that either.
Niners are
Well,
just there
the
because
Niners
Rodgers.
are blowing up, dude. Like Debo wants out. They don't have like. What are you gonna do with Brock Purdy? I mean, he's just eh.
They're gonna pay him.
I think you have to.
Yeah, dude. You guys think Brock Purdy's better than Jalen Hurts? It's fine.
Not anymore.
No, I don't.
You guys used to think it though. Yeah,
Uh,
there it is.
The thoughts probably come across my head before.
Oh, it definitely has. When they made the Super Bowl last year, you guys definitely were like, Purdy is the best quarterback in football. Look at this fucking seventh round, Brady 2.0
no,
incoming.
I think the best way to compare the two would be they, at least before Hurts won the Super Bowl, where they both were kind of the same passer, but Hurts just had the rushing ability that made him better. But now we've established that Hurts is top five. We don't have to re-establish that.
I'm just biting my
Well,
tongue.
dude,
I
I
enjoy
just
it.
like, dude, like he just the Super Bowl MVP, just won the Super Bowl. Like I was just bringing it up to bring it up, but I don't need to defend it anymore. The
Yep.
proof is in the pudding.
Cooper DeJean, that would have been a nice little payday if he won MVP, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, do my Mike of the Week really quick. I will loop in a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you guys saw this, but J.J. Watt is a team owner of the Burnley Football Club in England.
He's coming out of retirement.
Everybody's shaking their head like they know what's going on. All right, fuck this Mike of the Week. Then.
No. Hey, our
Well,
listeners
tell the
might not
people.
know.
They might not know.
It's a good one. I almost chose this one.
No, I'm just joking. But I did have it back. I honestly thought somebody was going to take this one. But yeah, anyway, if you guys didn't see it, the Burnley FC is a soccer club in England, and J.J. Watt, retired former NFL player, is, I guess he's not the outright owner, but an owner of the team, minority owner, whatever you want to call it. The goalkeeper, James Trafford, his favorite NFL team is the Bengals, and so he asked J.J. Watt if he would come out of retirement and play for the Bengals. And Watt said, if you do not allow a goal for the rest of the season, 100%, I'll come out of retirement. And I guess it just happened this weekend, but it's the 13th straight clean sheet for the Burnley goalkeeper. There's still, a handful of games left where it's probably going to be tough for him to do that. But J.J. Watt tweeted out in a comedic tweet saying heading to the gym, because I don't know if he's rattled about it, but the fact it's gone this far, he's definitely a little concerned.
Joe Burrow is going to owe that goalkeeper like a car of a bunch of shit if he gets JJ Watt to help him out on defense.
And how old is JJ Watt? Is he?
He still looks like he could play.
Could he still come in and do a job?
Probably what, 37?
35.
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah. He definitely could come out of retirement. He just had a lot of injury issues though, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, he was a guy who always put 110,000% into everything. So
right,
he had a lot of injuries too. I mean, he probably was just like, look, I don't have to do this anymore. I'm just gonna enjoy watching my brother do it.
Yeah, and that's good stuff. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny because that'd be hilarious if that's the reason why JJ Watt comes out of retirement. And like we just found out, only 35 years old. I mean, it's not out of the equation for this guy to unretire. Um, the only other ones I had was Shadar Sanders, which is not really Mike of the Week, but he will not be at the combine this upcoming week. Are we surprised about that? I don't know. But Jaden Daniels wasn't and Caleb Williams wasn't. So that was going to be my Mike of the Week, but guys do this all the time.
Is he not showing up? I saw he wasn't going to throw there, but is he not doing like any of the measurables either?
He's not working out. I don't know what that means. He's not working out, but he's going to meet with teams one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're going to go in the top 3 picks, you probably don't need to do all that. I get it.
Is he going to be a top 3?
It depends if the Titans have faith in Mayo, man.
Yeah, like, dude, Shador can go like 5th.
I don't blame
The
Shador,
Jaguars
though.
have the 5th pick.
Okay, he can go 6th.
Okay.
It's not like Shador's the definition
Like,
of
I think
athleticism.
The
Like, he's not very
Carter
fast.
guy, the Abdul Carter guy is going to go. Who's number 2?
Cam Ward is going to go.
It'll be
Cam Ward. They'll probably go before
Carter, Hunter, Cam Ward.
Carter, Hunter, Cam Ward. All right. So if he doesn't go 4, Jags aren't going to take him at 5.
No.
He's going 6 to the Raiders. Are the Raiders 6 or are they 4?
I'm looking up.
They might be. It might be 6.
Let's see. Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, in which he has the Giants trading for Matthew Stafford. He's got Titans going Abdul Carter, Browns going Cam Ward, Giants going Travis Hunter, and then trading for Matthew Stafford. Patriots with a lineman out of LSU, Jaguars with a D tackle out of Michigan, and then the Raiders, Shador Sanders.
Outside the top 5, and you're not even showing up to the draft. I think that's pretty, or showing up to work out. It's pretty wild.
No, that's actually a good point.
I don't really think he can improve his draft stock much in the combine. Like, he doesn't have a great arm. He's not fast. He doesn't seem like he's very strong.
Think it's more of he can hurt himself?
Yeah.
Overdoing better. And it did say they have a pro day in like a month.
Yeah, so he'll do the pro day.
He'll probably throw some passes at the pro day. But
because he's going to go up there. It makes sense. Pro day is a way more controlled environment. Like, it just makes sense that he's doing this.
Yeah. All right. Just want to see that. And then also former NFL running back legend Clinton Portis will join Deshaun Jackson's coaching staff at Delaware State.
Yep, that's going to be
on the
fun
football
stuff.
team. Yeah, so Clinton Portis. Haven't heard that name in a while. He's back in action.
He's right here. It's Clinton Portis.
That's awesome, dude. He was a beast. But I just fucking 3 Mike in a week right at you, Brian. So take some of that right there for 3 mics in a week for you. How you doing?
Yeah.
Can I get an extra Michael of the week?
Do you have
we
one?
have a lengthy AL.
Yeah, I got an extra one.
He's got another one.
I got another one. Someone tell me what's going on with Tyrese Halliburton and Tim Hardaway Sr.
Yeah, I actually don't know. But I know what you're referring to, but I don't know why they're beefing.
Yeah, so, for the listeners, apparently Tim Hardaway Sr. got onto Twitter, or I think he was on a podcast, and he said, if I could suit back up, I would. I would go back in and I would fuck up Tyrese Halliburton. He looks like he talks so much shit, like, I'd love to fuck him up or whatever. And Tyrese Halliburton, responds, tell him why you really feel this way. And I don't know what he means by that.
Yeah, I know Tyrese against the Pistons, he had a 3, and then he did a little shimmy that looked directed towards the Pistons bench after the shot.
So what?
Yeah, it wasn't really anything, but maybe they've just been beefing for a while.
Speaking of NBA, and this is totally random, we'll jump back to it. Why the hell is Tristan Thompson still on the Cavs?
He's still on the Cavs?
I just saw Max Strus just hit a fucking buzzer beater to close out halftime, and he just did a chest bump with Tristan Thompson. I had no idea that guy was still in the league. Anyway,
Tristan Thompson's probably playing for free right now,
bro.
Probably.
I was if he was a coach, okay, great, but he's in the tracksuit, that he could get subbed in at any time.
If he still can play minutes, why would the Lakers not just trade I guess you can't. There's only 2 rounds. So, yeah, you can't. It's not worth a second-round pick. But I feel like he's been following around LeBron his whole career, and they need a big.
Yeah, it's crazy because it feels like he's been forever, but he's only 33. Like, that's pretty young. Like, I
Yeah,
thought he was like 38.
maybe he came up when he was like 19.
He never
Yeah.
seemed like he was a guy that was like really taking care of himself, though.
He also dated a
He's getting,
Kardashian.
I
That
don't know
probably
if he's
aged
on the,
him.
if it's just, I don't know if it's just a 1 year deal or multiple year, but at least for 2025, he's getting $3.3 million from the Cavaliers, which, hey, to go to practice and sit on the bench, I'll take 3.3 mil.
How is he shooting 42% from the field?
Is he nice?
Well, I figure that's pretty bad. He's probably only taking like 2 foot shots.
Yeah, it's 1.6 points, 2.9 rebounds, zero point 0.7 assists on 42.9%.
Yeah, he's been around since 2011, so he's seen a few presidential administrations. It's a long time.
Yeah, he's three, right?
Yeah.
Obama, Trump,
Four.
Biden, Trump.
Yeah,
Yeah, but just
that's
one of the
crazy.
same guy. Yeah, it is pretty nuts. Anyway, there's your little Tristan Thompson update. Jack, your Mike of the week was something about these guys beefing.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton and Penny Hardaway. I don't understand it.
I did not see that, but whatever. Tyrese Halliburton seems like a guy, honestly, who wouldn't be doing shit
No, he
like
seems
getting
like a
I
beats.
agree.
great team. I'm watching the Court of Gold. I'm almost done it actually. And like every highlight they show of Team USA, he's off the bench, like clapping on when they're on defense and celebrating. While like Jason Tatum's looking like he hates Steve Kerr because he's not getting minutes. Like Halliburton looks like the greatest teammate you can have.
He
So I don't
does.
know.
He really
Yeah, I
does.
thought that was a little bit weird, but yeah, those guys are fighting. All right, we're back. Views from Section 400. Some six divisions in 3 weeks. Our guy Nick, writing on views from Section 400.com, is doing all the divisions. Like I just said, six divisions in 3 weeks. MLB season is right around the corner. We continue our previews with the AL Central. This is the division the White Sox reside in. They do exist. They will be trying to go and beat their record of four, or not the record, but like I guess the record of 41 wins last year. Um, do we think they're going to beat 41? I think they're probably going to beat 41 wins. I think we should set the over under a little higher than 41. That bar is way too low.
I go 50. That'd be
I
112
think
losses.
40. I think they're going to beat 41, dude.
Maybe go 52. That put him at 110 losses.
Yeah, I think we got to make it a little more competitive on the under. We're all going to say, would we all say over 41?
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly. So let's make it a little more competitive here.
let's go 52.
54 and a half.
Okay.
Because then you're at that like 107, 108 number.
Yeah, I will go. Ooh, you see, I had an angle for them to go over, but I don't know if this angle puts them over the top. I will say, Jonathan Cannon probably be their ace. He's their prospect. He's a sleeper all-star. And that's probably
Yeah.
only because they won't have anybody else worthy of an all-star, and every team needs an all-star.
So what's the line we're setting for the White Sox?
I like 54 and a half. I'll put them just under. I think they win 53 games.
Hmm.
53 and
I'm
109.
I'm
So
definitely
53.
I'm definitely taking the under on 53. I mean, I would go over 41 just because they got to be a little bit better than last year
They got to be a little bit better.
after a historically bad season, but not much better. I mean, you heard their management talking, saying, I know last year was a bad year, but please be patient with us again this year. Like that, are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not inspiring at all. They're not going to be a good team again.
No, not inspiring at all. And he did say like, you know, I'll he was saying like there will be improvement, and it was like, dude, like you won 41 games. Like there should be like no, they're like you won 41 games. There has to be improvement.
Yeah. And I will say today, former White Sox, now New York Met, Nick Madrigal, middle infielder, just got hurt in the first spring training game because, of course, he has his old White Sox stink on him. I believe he dislocated his shoulder. And there's a guy named Jose Iglesias still on the market. So some things just are meant to be. And it looks like Candelita is coming back to the New York Mets.
Yeah, what do we have it at 53 and a half?
Yeah, 50. I think you said 54.5 because I said
I said 50, but we could do 53. I'll take the over. I think they get 56 to 58 wins here. The reason why, and Nick highlighted it, I think, in his article, is they signed a lot of guys on 1 year deals where I think it'll keep them competitive enough to get the job done. Martin Perez, who's a solid middle to end of rotation guy. Josh Rojas, I think can be, or Josh Rosas, or whatever the hell his name is, the dude who's on the Diamondbacks
it's
and then the
Rojas.
Mariners. Josh Rojas. He, I think, can be a pesky player for them and have some clutch at bats. Michael Taylor will steal some bags. Austin Slater, eh. Um, yeah. 56 wins feels right. I'll take the over 53.5.
Who is Tyler Gilbert? Says he's
I
on the Phillies.
don't, I don't know, but I don't think he was ever on the Phillies. I saw that too. Unless it was like some like real.
Maybe it's a minor leaguer.
I think Martin Perez could have a sneaky good year for them. And again, like the bar is still 53.5 is still a very low bar. I think they can do it. I think they can get it done. So I will say over 53.5. I think they get 56 to 58 just because they're getting all those guys in a 1 year deal. They'll have Luis Robert probably for about half the season, maybe the whole season. Like I thought he was going to be gone last year. But that's what you get with the Chicago White Sox. We don't have to spend much time on them. They're not going to be great. All right. Should we move on to the Cleveland Guardians?
Yeah, I will say I like Mike Topman as a
Yeah.
leadoff
I
guy
mean,
for them.
he could be a pesky guy for them. So we shall see what happens there. All right. On to actual teams that are relevant. The Cleveland Guardians, again, when you look at their lineup or projected lineup, nothing jumps off the page at you, right? Nothing. I mean, they have a superstar in Jose Ramirez. Other than that, I mean, Steven Kwan, solid leadoff guy. Kyle Manzardo, isn't he like supposed to play for them this year? Or he wasn't
He
on the
made
team last
that.
year.
Was he? No, that was
Was he on the
Rotini.
playoff team?
Who was the shortstop that made the error against the Yankees?
Brian Rocchio?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
That's what I was
he's
thinking of.
projected. Juan Brito. So at least based on the projections here, they got Stephen Kwan leading off, Kyle Manzardo in the DH, Jose Ramirez switch hitting. I think the best three hitter in baseball. No
Over Judge.
rebuttals.
Over
Well,
Judge.
Judge bats too.
Yeah, the little key in that statement is there's a lot of good hitters that hit two now.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I
For
thought
some reason, I thought it
it
was.
was it was more a joke trying to get Brian going about
Doesn't
Soto.
Bryce
But
Harper hit three? Soto's gonna hit two.
yeah, Soto's going to hit two. Harper might be hitting two this year as well.
Yeah, now with the analytics, there
It
was
might go
recently.
Turner, Harper, Bohm, Schwarber.
We don't have to get into.
We don't have to get into it. I'm just saying how it is. Jose Ramirez, how the hell is this guy still in the league? Lane Thomas, who didn't they just get him from the Nationals? He's a pretty good young
He was
player.
good after the deadline for them.
Yeah, he's a good player. Will Brennan, Bo Naylor, who everybody knows Bo Naylor, Juan Brito, and then Brian Rocchio. Look, it's a low key pesky lineup that not too many people know about. They do from last year because they made the run, but where do we see this team standing this year? I mean, they'll be there at the end probably, but just not good enough to win it all.
Yeah, this might be the Stockholm syndrome of the Wilpon era Mets speaking to me, but I really like what they did with their offseason. They brought in a lot of pitchers that like have been decent and could become good. Like John Means, maybe he'll be good for them there. Luis Ortiz has shown stuff with the Pirates. Jacob Junis, like he was good with the Giants for a little bit. And they bring in Paul Sewald, former Met, to I guess be the closer. No, to be the setup man to Class A. The Guardians are always going to be like that middling team that just find ways to win. And Terry Francona is still there, right?
No, it's
it's Stephen Vogt.
Vogt, yeah, Stephen Vogt, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. They'll be around. What does Nick have them at?
Uh,
Nick has them
I
at
I have this team probably, it's going to be them or the Royals competing for this division title.
Nick has them at 85 wins. I think I put him at like 82, 83.
Yeah, I think they're experienced. They've been there, and they always just seem to get it done, dude. Like they probably have good odds again. Last year they were plus 300 to win that division, and I'm pretty sure they won it by like 7 games.
They
Yeah,
do.
I mean they won the division last year with 92 wins. I mean, I don't think we should
Yeah.
really be counting them out.
No, they'll definitely be there at the end. And to Brian's point, Tanner Beebe, we'll see what he is. Luis Ortiz, is that the guy who was on the Pirates?
Yeah.
Like he's a decent player. Gavin Williams, just another young guy. Ben Lively makes me laugh because he was horrendous for the Phillies, and I think he's carved out a nice
He,
role
he
for himself.
he was a very serviceable pitcher for my fantasy team last year.
Yeah, which is just wild how that guy is still relevant in the league. And then Tristan McKenzie, who we know has electric stuff, but just a little bit inconsistent. But if he's the guy kind of anchoring down that rotation, I think you have a lot of upside with that being your guy. Like I said at the back.
I also have Logan Allen, who hasn't really put it together, but he's a lefty that maybe can fight
Yeah,
for a
he
spot.
was serviceable for a stretch on my fantasy team last year and kind of fell apart at the end. Um, Slade Sassoni, I remember he was there last year, or was he there last year? He might have been on another team. I remember the name. Oh, he's on the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks, yeah.
Yeah, Sassoni was a Diamondback guy, and then Joey Cantillo.
Yeah, they're just always
It's
gonna
just
have like,
it's just average guys, like is all it is.
which I mean, in today's MLB, it can work out. We've seen it a lot lately in the playoffs, just with these rotations that are just slightly above average, and it works out until it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to the Royals, who if they put it all together this year, this is a team that can be dangerous in the playoffs. Jonathan India coming over from the Reds. Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr., who is probably the best two-hole hitter in baseball.
You're just trying to your vocals. I'm not gonna argue with you. He's an MVP candidate.
I'm trolling, but there's definitely a case. I mean, this
There's a
guy was
case.
this guy was unbelievable last year.
I think the correct word to use there is player. He definitely has more tools than Juan Soto does. I don't know if he's a better all-around
Yes,
hitter than Juan Soto.
I can agree to that. I can
Yeah,
agree to that.
I remember Matt
Let's not,
shouting out Bobby Witt a couple times last season. So
electric player. Electric player. So he'll slot there in the two hole, probably. Vinny Pasquantino, been there a little while, proven guy now for the Royals. Heart of the lineup. I mean, three-hole hitter is very important. Salvador Perez, look, if he puts up 40 home runs, I don't care if the guy's 45 or 50 years old. I mean, if he just keeps hitting the home runs, he'll continue to play and get at bats. But they do have MJ Melendez, who will be in left field probably, also with some catching experience. So I don't know if he's just like waiting in the wings to take over for Perez, but that would be what maybe happens. Anyway, Hunter Renfroe still exists. He's going to probably be in the six hole for them, which, okay, whatever. We'll see what he can do. Michael Massey's there as well. Michael Garcia and Kyle Isbell. So, look,
I think these guys have the best lineup in this division.
they probably do. The Guardians have the best player in Jose Ramirez.
I don't
Bobby Witt's
know.
probably
Yeah.
Bobby Witt's probably the best player. That's close because Jose Ramirez is very good as well, like MVP candidate level good, and so is Bobby Witt. So we could just call them both superstar elite guys. Um, Bottom of the lineup, I don't think gets it done for me. I mean, Michael Garcia, speedy, quick guy. I don't know that the bat's going to be consistent enough for a full season. Kyle Isbell, name's been around forever. We'll see what happens. And Michael Massey, like, is he going to be good again this year? I don't know that he was spectacular last year.
They also have Kevin Biggio, who will be trying to carve out a role and resurrect
That
his
guy,
career.
that guy might not even break camp with the team.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him.
I'm rooting for him. He had an electric MLB The Show card in MLB 21. when he was like this prospect of the future.
Yeah, it was
But
supposed to be him and Bichette and Vladdy holding down
yeah,
Toronto for a decade.
yeah, and it did not work out for Biggio, at least up until right now.
No, but I know Nick has them as kind of middling. He might have them under 500. The
The
Royals here.
Royals?
Yeah, Nick has the Royals coming in fourth place in this division at 76 and 86. The Royals are actually going to be my pick to win this division. I really like
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
Jag. I agree with you about their lineup and their pitching staff last year. They lost Brady Singer, who kind of had a breakout year, but was still inconsistent. But they ranked third in the majors in ERA.
Yeah.
And I don't see much regression this year. If anything, Cole Reagans is going to take like the step Tariq Schoolball did and become a bona fide ace. So I really like the Royals.
Reagan's can be a Cy Young guy this year. I mean, push for legitimately winning that award. Again, he's got to take the step, but he has all the tools. Very good pitcher. Reminds me a little bit of Carlos Rodon when he was in his prime, but he's an electric guy. Strikeout stuff is there. 10+ strikeouts when he goes out there, and that's always on the table for him. So Reagan's 100% bona fide ace at the top of that lineup. We'll see if he can do it again this year. I understand they did just sign him to a deal, so financial future is locked up. Seth Lugo at the number 2 hole, right? Reliever for the Mets for all those years.
And starter.
Starter for a little bit, whatever, but Mets fans ran him out of town. And now he was a Cy Young last year or candidate?
He finished second in Cy Young, but the Mets fans didn't run out of town. The Wilpons ran him out of town because they refused to let him start. And now that he's starting, he's very good.
He definitely is very good. And then Michael Wacha is, I think, great number 3.
Also former Met.
If he keeps it up. And then Michael Lorenzen, who did throw a no-hitter for the Phillies 2 years ago, but we'll see. He's a we'll see candidate. And then Chris Bubich, I think is his name, will wrap up, anchor down. What I really like is Alec Marsh. He was very serviceable last year on my fantasy team, and I think that's a guy that can really compete.
Yeah,
I think he's dealing with the right shoulder thing right now, so he's a little injured, but he's a guy that can compete for that 5th spot. And
I was going to say,
get it.
I think he'll be by maybe May. He'll be their 5th starter.
Yeah, and then Daniel Lynch is there too. So we'll see what he can come up with. But again, the consistency has been his problem, at least for the last year. So, yeah, I'm with there, Brian. Or I'm with you there, Brian. I would pick this team or the Indians or Guardians to win it all or win this division.
Yeah, I'm not a Daniel Lynch guy. Went to Virginia.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know. You guys aren't Virginia guys. It's fine. But let's jump over to the team that I think should have played the Yankees in the ALCS, the Detroit Tigers. Not really sure where they loaded up here, as that lineup was kind of disgusting, and I don't know how they caught fire. Lightning in a bottle would be a better term, but that's what they did at the end of last year. I like AJ Lynch or Hinch, whatever his name, AJ Hinch.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he's a great manager and, got caught cheating, and that's why he had to leave Houston. But I thought that was a great pickup by them. And we already kind of saw it pay off last year. I mean, dude, look at this lineup that, like, top to bottom, like Parker Meadows, Matt Vierling, Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, Gleyber Torres, Colt Keith, Jace Jung, Trey Sweeney, Jake Rogers. I mean, where's the superstar? Riley Green's supposed to be. I get that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Gleyber Torres, like, is that the guy you're jumping to?
They're really hoping that Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green take that next step. And like we talked about in the last preview, hope is not a good strategy.
No. And I guess Parker Meadows is fine. Matt Vierling, like, that guy couldn't make it with the Phillies. And I guess maybe he carved out a role with the Tigers. I mean, they haven't projected to bat number 2.
Yeah, Jack, you seemed like you had something to say about Gleyber Torres in this lineup.
Well, Gleyber Torres has always been like a funny ball player to me, and like all that time with the Yanks, and now you're getting sent out to Detroit to go play for the Tigers. It's got to be quite like I'm just picturing Gleyber Torres like if I was him, like going from the Yankees from the Bronx to Detroit, how different that's going to be, especially for a guy like him. I hope the best for Gleyber Torres.
I think all the pressure's off. I think, we could see him probably have a decent year. But again, like that was their big,
that was their big ad this offseason. You're right.
Yeah, it really was. And
they brought Flaherty back, but I guess that's on the pitching staff.
Yeah, that's too, not the lineup, but and I guess they re-signed Skubal as well, or extended him, or whatever they did with him. So they spent money there, but this is another team where it's okay. You just had that year. Go spend some money. It's the same problem I had with the Orioles, where they just didn't spend the money where they could have really loaded up and went all in. They didn't spend the money. Is Detroit a smaller market than Baltimore? No, they're probably a little bit bigger.
They got all that GM Motors money.
Yeah, so Detroit, pretty sizable market there. I think they could have went a little more all in on some guys. I don't know how old Jace Jung is, but why were they not in the Bregman sweepstakes?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I guess they were. They
were. They didn't pay enough.
The money was effed up.
And I guess
that's a team where he would have fit in tremendously.
I wish that you could take this pitching staff, this Detroit Tigers pitching staff, and swap them with the Orioles pitching staff, because then the Orioles would be like a really good team and actually really competitive. Good pitching staff, good lineup. Or, vice versa. You can make the Detroit Tigers good if you'd rather have them get over the Orioles. But, this is just a great pitching staff that I feel like is going to be wasted with these mediocre bats, as you're saying, Matt.
Yeah, Tariq Skubal and Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty was always like a highlighted prospect. Didn't really work out I believe he was in St. Louis. And, came here, pitched really well, went to the Dodgers, won a ring. And now he comes back with some experience in the same clubhouse he was in all year last year, besides, at the end with the Dodgers. So, Tariq Skubal, Cy Young, Jack Flaherty, I put not with Aaron Nola, but has the potential to be like that Aaron Nola-esque guy of just like really good number two. Probably will never be the ace, but can be really good number two.
And Brian, where is Casey Mize?
He's injured again.
He's on the he'll be there.
He'll be at fighting for a job. Yeah, I think I gotta find this because I know MLB did like a vault contest in 2020 where they said a bunch of accolades for the next decade. I'm pretty sure I picked Jack Flaherty to win the most Cy Youngs in the 2020s, which isn't looking too great at the moment.
No.
But yeah, in terms of Mize, his issue is going to be they got this kid Jackson Jobe. That's kind of the new Casey Mize, the top prospect.
I've heard of him, yeah.
He came up, kind of helped out the bullpen in the postseason last year. So I think that's really his competition as like the number 5 Young's project starter. And just because Jobe has not the injury history and has the young years on him, I think Mize might be the odd man out.
Yeah, and another guy who was really serviceable last year, Reese Olson. A little bit inconsistent, but like as a number 3, I think he'll be fine. And then you have Alex Cobb dealing with, some kind of injury. So he's an MLB vet.
Once he goes down in April, Mize might actually crack the rotation.
Yeah. Well, I think Cobb's already hurt.
Well, that'd be dope. More Eagle Casey Mize. I mean, dude, he was the first overall pick back in 2018.
Yeah.
Like even with the injury history and like a loaded room, like I feel like you could still deal him somewhere and get something in return for him if you're the Tigers.
Yes, he did pitch today. Looks like
Yeah, I don't know that.
So I guess he is getting.
I think. And again, getting a crack like that was 7 years ago. I mean, it's now or never. Yeah. It's now or never for this guy.
So he pitched against the Yankee regulars at the top of the order, two innings, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts.
Look, if he can make it as the number 5 pitcher for them, again, the pitching matchups will be good because he'll be going up against the other team's number fives. You know what I mean? So that'll help him. Like, right, like this guy for a stretch, you know, I think was at the top of the Tigers' rotation. So, like, you know, that's a lot tougher when you got to go up against just for example, a Zach Wheeler compared to going up against the Taiwan Walker. Like when those guys are
How many
throwing
former Mets are we going to talk about in this AL Central preview?
Yeah, and they seemingly somehow find the Phillies. But yeah, Casey Mize, I think, will be a really nice number 5 for them. Should we move on to the Twins?
Yeah, did we say how many wins we think? So Nick has the Tigers at 89 and 73. I don't see that happening. I got the Tigers
No,
at like 84 wins.
I don't even know that they'll get to 84. Like they might be like, what's the is it 82 and 82 you can go to be? No.
It would 82 and 80. So 81 and 81 is 500.
Yeah, that's where I have them.
I think I think the Tigers are going to finish as the second best team in this division after the Royals.
Yeah, for me, this is still the third team. It's I'm conflicted on the Royals and the Guardians at the top, and then the Tigers are. I don't think that lineup is will produce enough runs, and as good as the pitching staff is, I don't think it's good enough to hold that lineup together. But we'll see. Um, so does that mean we have the Twins finishing last? No, White Sox. Well, I guess the true last would be the Twins at 4, right? White Sox don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run through the players real quick, or at least who they have projected. Again, maybe some prospects out there. Edward Julian, Carlos Correa, Trevor Larnach, Byron Buxton, Royce Lewis, Jose Miranda. That's Brian's guy. Matt Wallner, Ty France, the ex-Mariner, and Ryan Jeffers. I love France at the bottom of that lineup.
They don't have former Matt Harrison Bader in the starting lineup?
Is he on that team?
Yeah, that was their big acquisition, him and Ty France.
Yeah, I think their big their big thing is getting Royce Lewis going, right? I mean, if he could get going, but I mean Correa down to Lewis, like Correa, Larnach. Is Larnach going to be their number 3?
Yeah, he's shown flashes.
Has he?
Yeah. Same way Jose Miranda has shown flashes.
That's your guy, Brian. You were so high on this guy.
He had
and he was really good last year he was good last year for a stretch. And I remember because I had him, and you were like, "Damn it, I was a year too early on the guy." And he had a stretch last year, but he kind of fell off. And look, if he can get it going, he'll be a nice 6-hitter for them.
Yeah, I like the Twins. I like them in terms of they're going to be. I love their ballpark. I think it's still Target Field, unless.
Yeah, it is.
But they'll be a fun team. Byron Buxton's still there, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Did you not just listen to a word I just said?
Nafis just Venmoed me for fantasy baseball, so I got distracted there for a second.
I was like, yeah, the 2 through 5 is going to be really important with Correa, and that's how I got into Larnach.
I heard that.
And then Byron Buxton, and then Royce Lewis. I said they got to get Royce Lewis going as well.
Yeah, he's another guy that's dealt with injuries. Like this is another if they all can stay healthy, they could feasibly win this division, but they're not all going to stay healthy.
Yeah, like Correa will have an IL stint. Buxton will have an IL stint.
Even Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis will definitely, but look, on paper, all healthy, really good lineup. I like the lineup, but we'll jump into the rotation now. Is Pablo Lopez a bona fide A-plus starter?
I'd put him, and MLB will probably do their opening day starter rankings in a bit here. I put him like right in the middle of that. Maybe upper echelon middle, like right outside the top 10.
Like 11, 12 area?
Yeah, he's good, but I forget who I said. I think I was talking about Kevin Gausman when I said he throws a very straight fastball. That's
Yeah.
also Pablo Lopez, except Lopez can dial it up to like 98, 99.
He can dial it up, but I think his off-speed stuff is crisp.
Yeah,
He's
it's
got the
good.
wicked slider.
It's just a very hittable fastball.
Yeah. Bailey O'Bear, we saw him last year, showed flashes. My guy, Ryan. I mean,
Yep.
if you don't like watching Joe Ryan pitch, I don't know what happens. I mean, I seemingly get this guy every year in fantasy. He's a low-key guy. He'll get the strikeouts. He'll keep the ERA reasonable. And when I mean reasonable, I mean under 5. And, you know, he's a good number 3. Where I have issues is Chris Paddock going to make the team as a number 4 starter for this rotation?
Remember when he said he was better than Pete Alonso?
Dude, he's the most ridiculous guy.
The
And
Padres fans had like a whole 4-month campaign about Paddock being Rookie of the Year over Alonso.
like he was good that year though. Like Paddock was good, but he is just fallen off a cliff.
That's a very hittable fastball.
That's a very hittable fastball. And then to wrap up the rotation, at least for now, Simeon Woods Richardson, who that was your guy last year, Brian.
Another former Met. How many former Mets are in this division?
That guy was a former Met?
He was. They traded him to the Blue Jays for Marcus Stroman in 2019.
And then how did he go from the Blue Jays to the Twins?
He was traded to the Twins for another. I forget who they traded him for, but
So he started on the Mets, went Blue Jays, now he's on the Twins.
he never made it to the majors with the Mets. But he got high enough the ranks where he was considered a top prospect with the Mets.
Yeah. Just didn't work out. I mean, he showed flashes last year, but he's just a kitchen sink guy. I mean, he doesn't have a vibrant electric fastball.
No, not at all.
I'm watching some Joe Ryan highlights right now.
Joe Ryan's nasty.
He's nasty, dude.
He's got good.
Nasty.
Man.
Nasty pitcher. Doesn't overpower you with the fastball. Can dial it up a little bit if he has to, but it's not overpowered. But his jump that he can throw is nuts. Let's have no reason to have a conversation. Let's go through all our teams, at least for baseball, nicknames for the minor league teams. Just MLB, it's the Phillies. AAA, it's the Iron Pigs, which is an electric name, by the way. AA is literally just the Fightin' Phils, so no creativity there. Single A, there's the Clearwater Thrashers, and then the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, I think they call them. It's Jersey Shore something. I think it's the Blue Claws.
I've been to a Blue Claws game before.
Is that what it is? Yeah, Blue Claws.
I have been to a Blue Claws game before.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And I had one, I guess, would the Florida team be low A, Brian?
Yeah, low A.
And then high A is Jersey Shore.
Yep.
And then double A is the Fightin' Phils. And then, but my favorite team of all time, Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's a great one. But, Brian, what do you got for your...
The Mets are kind of boring. It's Syracuse Mets, Binghamton Rumble Ponies, St.
Rumble
Lucie.
Ponies is pretty nuts.
So,
yeah, that's a good one. But and then it's Brooklyn Cyclones and St. Lucie Mets.
Okay, so yeah, they keep Mets pretty consistent.
St. Louis Sea Mets?
St. Lucie Mets.
Like Fort St. Lucie. And then, Jack, you would be the Red Sox, dude. Would you be able to pull that? I think I know. One's the Portland Sea Dogs.
Yeah.
The Gwinnett Strikers is
We might be able to get this, Bri.
Go for it. Yeah, the AA team is the Portland Sea Dogs.
The Portland Sea Dogs, and then
Bowie Sox is Orioles.
Yeah, it's the Bay Sox.
Is Bay Sox?
Bowie Bay Sox, I think.
No.
What is the AAA? It's the Red Sox logo.
It's the Worcester Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So stupid. And then I think single A we want to get. All right. I had a little bit more.
I was gonna say the only cool one. I mean, the Portland Sea Dogs is all right, but then there's the
Sea Dogs is pretty cool. I think
the Greenville Drive.
Would have never gotten that.
Yeah. No.
And then the Salem Red Sox. So not much.
Oh, that's the one I should have gotten. I was thinking of Salem.
Yeah, but anyway, there's the AL Central. There's our minor league affiliates as well. I guess we can leave that in there as well. But yeah, that's all I had. Unless you guys had something else. Again, another. I'm always like, oh, well, this will be a quick show, and here we are 2 hours later.
The shows have somehow been getting longer now that football's over.
It's crazy, dude. I think it's just because we ramble. Like football, we're like, all right, there's a lot of stuff to get through, so we stay more consistent. This is a little more free flowing, which is fine. I mean, I think
I'm having fun.
free flowing sport conversation is a little more enjoyable. But yeah, that's the AL Central. What division we got on Wednesday? Just tell the people, Brian.
AL
AL
It'll
West.
be the AL West. Yep. Yeah, we'll go AL
right.
West. And then on next Sunday show, we will have the NL East.
Oh, I can't wait for that show.
Baby. Oh,
is
Lord.
it Can we do the National League East on a Wednesday?
Yeah, we could. I could have Nick change it up.
Would have more energy for that on a like Sunday nights. I'm always beat.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
There we go. So NL East Wednesday, and we'll be good to go. That's all I got. I'm Matt, Jack, and Brian. Join me as always, and we will see y'all up in the nosebleeds on Wednesday or Thursday. Peace.
How did it take you 40 years to put your beard policy to rest?
Are we sure we want to do the NL East before we do the last American League division?
No, on Wednesday. Oh, next one, 2 Wednesdays.
Oh,
yeah. I thought you were saying like it, not this Wednesday, but like in like 14 days.
Yeah.
Or whenever that is.
That would make more sense, but you were like, Nick, do the NL East Wednesday or whatever.
Nick, do the NLE show next Wednesday. See you guys in the next show.